time limit, words, whatever. Okay, so Digimon. So yeah, somehow, and I still don't understand the specifics of this, it's just kind of digital world nonsense. I somehow, just in that moment, after they lose, when Takuya is just super afraid of Duskmon and everything looks their darkest, he seems to like, the quasi like lets darkness into his heart or something, and that summons like Dark Trailmon, who appears to him and him alone in this weird like black void, and is just like, hey, you have like darkness in your heart. Would you want to go back to the human world? Like, this is your one chance. And Taki is just, yeah.
Not sure why, like, that is the catalyst. It's like, hey, you want to go home? It's like, alright.
Yeah, I have to assume it's like, I don't know, Dark Trailmon seems like different from the others. Like, he's a big evil darkness train that, like, stares into the desires of your soul and, like, takes advantage of your, like, fear, seemingly.
We just don't know. It's a Dark Trailmon, and it can
so mysterious.
Also, I wouldn't be surprised if it never shows up again.
Yeah. Honestly, I really do appreciate this a lot, because this is something I didn't really think about, but yeah, the first episode was, like, really weird and, like, super, like, abstract feeling and mysterious, like, around all this stuff. And it's like, oh, there's this mysterious message telling you to board this train, and, there's, like, all these weird shots and, like, all these, like, really crazy lying and stuff. And you, like, go through the series, and that vibe never really, like, comes back. And you get to this, and it's like, oh, we're going back to that. Okay, oh yeah, this is great. It's kind of a clunky way to move towards this episode's themes, but a lot. It's pretty good. Yeah. I feel like that's about where I am. It's like, it makes very little sense, but it's like, screw it, digital world logic, something weird, whatever the crap. Oh, hey, we get to, like, take a main character and give them the chance to, like, like, face their fears and, like, make the choice. It's like, oh yeah, knowing, like, everything that's going to happen, would you choose to go through all of this again, like, willingly? Which, honestly, that's a really cool premise.
Yeah, I forgot about the time travel angle of the episode.
Yeah, I remember seeing this as a kid. I remembered, like, nothing about it. All I remembered was the, like... So, like, first off, like, yeah, the Trailmon takes him back to the real world. Takuya's a furry now. There's no way around this. It just makes him a furry.
He's just a Digimon.
Yeah, but look at him.
Yeah, he's a Digimon.
Yeah, it turns him into a furry, and he's like, I remember him, like, running away and freaking out and being scared. I remember people, like, just, like, being afraid of him, because he's, like, shooting fire out and trying to escape, and, like, he keeps, like, having panic attacks, and people keep, like, spying him as he's trying to hide. Yeah, child look for Rookie possibly. Oh yeah, 100%. Like, if you want to get really, like, technical, it's like, it's hybrid level, like all the other spirit forms. But yeah, it's a rookie, yeah, just straight up. And yeah, like, every media, this is like the equivalent of a rookie. Honestly, not too bad, considering what rookie Digimon can freaking do.
Also, I like the design.
Yeah.
It's a good lead up to Agnemon.
Yeah. I have one problem with it looking back, and that's it's like, oh yeah, I forgot he has his frosted nips. Once you see it, it's hard to unsee it. And it's like, oh, that's weird. That's super weird. What the heck? But yeah. Other than that, cool design, cool Digimon form. But yeah, so he's like teleported to the past, where it's like, okay, it's the day that like all the kids like got the message and went out to like, go on the train to go in the digital world. Also nice mixture with the theme. He feels scared right now, so he's in his quote-unquote child form. Yeah, makes sense. Makes enough sense. Yeah, fair enough. I think it's more, it's like, oh yeah, they just want, like, a depowered version of, like, some Digimon form. Because, like, it would be weird if there was just two Takuyas, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it works out really well. It adds a whole other, like, sort of layer to things. Cause it's like, oh, now he's not just, trying to, like, find, his home and, like, get back home and stuff. It's like, oh, you can't just, like, be like this. You have to actively stop yourself. And at the end where he actually does finally face the, like, phantom Duskmon that's just chasing him throughout the episode. It's like, okay, well, you have to fight back, and because you're a Digimon, there's a literal way for you to fight back that'll, like, actually look, like, visually impressive. So it's like, okay, yeah. It's like, it's pulling double duty for a lot of different things. I really dig it. But yeah, we, like, just go back in time and we just see the events from a whole different perspective.
Yeah, it's that Digimon version of Takuya was trying to stop himself from going for a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like this is like, there's two real, like, problems I have with this, even though, this is like, I feel like this is objectively just like a good episode, right? I don't think there's any arguing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, one problem is that it's like, alright, I don't think they went far enough to make the digital world trip seem like a bad thing, right?
I mean, Takuya being faced with his potential death is pretty serious.
It is, but also Duskmon was leaving, And
I mean,
I feel like they should have, like, gone a bit farther. Like, may not pull, like, a full-on Evangelion or something, but it's like, I don't know, like, maybe, like, show some, like, clips of them losing, or have them in, like, danger a bit more for this point or whatever. Or, like, as I mentioned before, like, if Koji was, like, bleeding or whatever, and there's, like, some threat that's like, okay, someone might, like, die because of me, then this would make way more sense.
I mean, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has that thought because he has like a vision of all of his friends getting beat by Duskmon. I think.
Yeah.
It shows them all taking hits and losing their spirits or whatever. Like, I'm pretty sure the implication there is supposed to be, oh right, without me, like, without everyone and like me there to help, everyone's in like real danger.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, all right, if it's like, this is probably why I should have watched the episode a bit beforehand, so I could, like, articulate my thoughts a bit better. But as I'm thinking this through, it's like, okay, let's say if, like, Koji, like, de-transformed, but, it's like, oh, he had some, like, wound or something, then I feel like it would be way more impactful, because it's like, oh, my friend literally got hurt, and, it's, like, a big impactful thing, and this is because I pushed us to keep going. I'm responsible, I shouldn't be there, right? I feel like that logic would track way more than, like, oh no, my plan didn't work, and if Duskmon didn't leave, we'd be goners. I feel like there would be a bit more of, like, an emotional, like, thing there. Even though I know I'm probably asking for too much. Like, at the end of the day, it is a kid's show, and there's only so much they can do. But still, if there was ever a time to push just a little harder, this would be it. I feel like the other thing is that it's like, okay, I understand what they're doing and it works for the episode. It is very inconsistent with, like, whether or not people can see Flamemon.
No, they can.
They can, and they drops down behind Takuya like his past self and screams, "Get on the train," and Takuya doesn't notice.
I mean, he probably just, considering it was his own voice, he probably thought it was his own thoughts yelling at him.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, alright, this is the R thing, because it's like, alright, I went back and rewatched the episode 1, because, this is like what this is referencing. And I'm like, oh yeah, did they actually plan for this? And the answer is, I don't know, but they could have left more hints, right?
Yeah.
Because if this was like, okay, Flamemon has to like actively, convince himself to do it, that's like, okay, you would expect some, like, bit in the original episode where he's like, in the elevator where it's like, you hear a voice shout, "Go," and then he runs or something, and that'd be like a whole interesting thing. That's like, you do not hear it in episode 1. Not do you not hear it, but you see the elevator, and like, straight up, Flamemon does not seem to be there. He's just, like, not there in the first episode.
I mean, they probably just didn't want to reveal what they were going to do.
Yeah, but they could have, like, chosen, shots that would have, like, not shown the back of the elevator. What I'm getting at is that it's like, if this was planned ahead of time, then, like, they could have made, like, edits and stuff that would, like, make this, like, feel more consistent, right? Because, yeah, this isn't, like, really a complaint. It's more of like, oh, this would be extra cred or whatever. But it's like, yeah, if everything, like, lined up with the first episode, that would be amazing.
I don't know. Unless it works on multiverse theory. In which case, if Takuya had successfully... No, wait. No, that would have just created another timeline. Never mind.
Yeah, because what's really confusing me is that it's like, you see the shot from the first episode where it's like, okay, a truck's gonna, like, hit Takuya, and he, like, seemingly jumps out of the way, and that's how he, like, dodges the truck. But in this episode, you clearly see that it's like, no, Flamemon runs in the path and, like, pushes him out of the way, which is something you should have seen in that shot in the first episode if he was, like, visible.
Yeah, so it's gotta be multiverse.
Yeah. But that's like, why did he, like, push him out? What does that imply?
It means he saved himself from getting killed by a truck.
But he didn't. He would have jumped out of the way like he did in the original timeline.
I don't know, man.
I feel like it would be, like, a bit of a different story if, like, past Takuya at least looked over and was like, wait, what's that thing? Oh, well, and just turned around and ran off anyways. Because I don't think that would really necessarily change anything, but then at least it would be like, okay, yeah, this is a new timeline, just straight up, And it'd be like, okay, he can see his past self and, like, hear it, and, this can influence his decision. Because as is, it's good, but it's not, like, as good as it could have been, I think. I feel like that's what I really want. I want, like, some, like, like, clear, like, thing where it's like, it's obvious that it's like, he can actually see and hear Flamemon, because he should be able to. Like, some reaction to be like, okay, yeah, Flamemon shouting "don't go" is actually putting some doubts in his head, and then he has to, like, convince his past self to do it to, like, really make this, like, pay off, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe I'm being, like, way too nitpicky here, but that's just kind of my thoughts, I think. Other than that, really good episode, honestly. I feel like there's a reason this stuck with me so hard.
I think we're skipping over the more important detail in this episode, and it's that there's some kid who was following Koji who didn't make it to the train, and instead fell down the stairs.
Yeah, that's the other thing, and that's... Oh, boy! I feel like that's one of those things where it's like, alright, Like, I wish we got that bit of, like, you know, other, like, stuff to, like, elevate this episode. The fact that we see, like, a kid who looks like Koji run to the trains and not make it, that definitely elevates the episode. Cause, like, yeah, that means this episode is doing double duty. Is, like, both a character piece giving, like, us an interesting situation, and, like, a backstory episode.
Yep. Although, as if you're a first-time viewer, you won't understand what's going on anyways, but still.
I feel like if I was, like, at least if I was watching this as, like, you know, like, an adult, like, maybe not as a kid, but as, like, a grown-up, like, I feel like you'd definitely put this together on a first viewing. Because, of course, I know, because I've, like, been spoiled on all this stuff, and I've seen a bit further into the series and stuff. Just straight up, like, you see Duskmon, just, like, he sees Koji, and, like, reels back, and he's like, Koji, why? And he, like, freaks out and runs off. And you see this episode, and, like, Flamemon specifically is like, oh, hey, it's Koji. Wait, there are two Kojis? What's going on? That's a different guy. And it's like, okay, yeah, like, got it. It's his brother, of course. Like, if you think of that for a second, it's, like, really obvious what's happening. And it's, like, honestly, that's just really cool. Well, especially because, like, Duskmon is just, like, chasing him around the entire episode, right? So it's like, okay, you see him, and you also, like, you know, you're constantly seeing what he's, like, going to become. And it's like, oh dang, that's alright. But yeah, man, this is, like, I feel like there's nothing you can say other than just like, oh, that's just good writing, you know? This is, like, good use of a scenario to do, like, just multiple big things at once, you know? Potentially without the audience even realizing it at first watch.
Yeah.
Cause, yeah, right? Of course. Although this does make me more, because you see all the Trailmon leaving, but I mean, only like the 6 of them seem to make it, and even then it's like one of them's kind of like, you know, a bit of a question. So it's like, how'd that work out? Did, like, you know, that's why I'm wondering, it's like, how did Koji's brother make it? It's like, alright, did Dark Trailmon show up in, like, his, like, you know, like, the weird dark void area or something, and that's how he, like, got on there and, like, you know, went through because he had some darkness in his heart? Or is it, like, some other thing? Because I can't imagine that it's like, oh, Cherubimon himself just, like, you know, opens a portal and just, like, grabs him or something, as, like, funny as that would be. You just, like, he's, like, crawling towards the train, like, no, I have to make it, and all the trains leave, and you see a big, like, evil rabbit hand just, like, grab him, and it's, like, yoink, and just pulls him in.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it'll reveal what happened with that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what that reveal's going to be. Cause, so yeah, I don't know. Anything else we want to say out this episode?
Nah, not really.
Not really? I feel like I should have more to say about it, but it's like, I don't know. I'm thinking back, it's like, alright, I've talked about the plot, I've talked about my problems, I've talked about what I think it does well. I really love the mysterious vibe, I really love the atmosphere. I love that this is, like, such an interesting stuff. I don't know, I feel like I should praise it more, but I don't have much to actually say. It's just a cool episode.
Why force it when you said all there is to say about it?
Yeah, I suppose that's fair.